Well House is my haven.
It gives me a job. I'm really thankful for that. I really am thankful.
It was relief for me. And even to this day, can I be at peace with myself?
For me, Well House is a lifesaver. I mean, it's getting me starting on the road of adulthood.
You gotta know how to get along with everybody. That's the whole key of Well House. Community is getting along with everybody. Once you get along with everybody and you got the right intentions, it's gonna be okay.
These are just a few of the hundreds of people that Well House has been working with since the late 1970s. Well House was founded by Marion Clements, someone who had experienced homelessness herself, and wanted to open up a place that was based on the idea of radical hospitality, where people felt like equals instead of clients. Marion bought an abandoned home for $300 and designed it to be an example of self-sufficiency, with solar panels on the roof, a greenhouse, gardens, and even a composting toilet. People who stayed at Well House would often talk about how welcoming their stay was. Eventually, Well House acquired 601 Cass from a neighbor who passed away, and then a third house that Marion was able to rescue from demolition, which became 606 Cass. Sadly, Marion was diagnosed with breast cancer and died in 1997. Well House continued to serve people experiencing homelessness by being an emergency shelter for many years. But beginning in late 2012, the organization came under new leadership and adopted a Housing First model.
The Housing First model is based on the premise that for any person or family that is experiencing homelessness, housing is the first and foremost need for that family or individual. So the Housing First model immediately moves people into housing without any conditions and believes that any other issues that that family or individual may have, whether that is issues with mental health or addiction or physical health or employment or whatever else that person might be facing, all of those other issues can best be addressed after housing is in place.
The Housing First model has been an incentive for Well House to acquire additional houses that have been abandoned or lost from foreclosure, to fix them up and provide even more safe spaces and affordable housing for people currently experiencing homelessness. This effort has been highlighted in the organization's 19-to-1 campaign, which seeks to both raise awareness about homelessness in Kent County and raise funds to expand housing options for people Well House works with.
Did you know that on any given night in Kent County, there are an estimated 1,000 people who are currently experiencing homelessness?
In Kent County.
1,000 people. At the same time,
But the Housing First model is also about listening to the needs of those who have experienced homelessness. Tammy Vandenberg addresses this point.
We want to get regular input from our tenants. We have meetings with the director, lunch with the director, where tenants can come and give ideas and input. We are in the middle of developing a tenant advisory board, which will be a really formal body elected by the people that live at Well House that can speak directly to board members, come to board meetings, and will be encouraged to go to neighborhood meetings. So we see every Well House tenant as someone with valuable input who can make the organization better.
Additionally, Well House operates in a low-income neighborhood that is at risk of displacement. Tammy Vandenberg addresses how Well House is responding to this issue.
And so what we're doing there is we're trying to meet people that are there and build relationships and build community and talk to them about what they'd like to see for the neighborhood and how we can help with that. And so we're trying to beautify the neighborhood with fixing up the homes and growing food. And we're looking forward to doing a lot more of that and finding out information on what the plans are for the neighborhood and helping to educate folks so that they can give input on whether that's what they would also like to see.
Food growing in the Well House neighborhood is a critical part of the organization's mission. Well House gardener Camilla Volker speaks to this issue.
We're growing food because we recognize that area as a food desert, which people commonly call a food desert. We've sort of started calling it a food apartheid as we recognize it's a place in Grand Rapids that doesn't have a very doesn't have a say in how the food system goes or a say in what's available to them in that space for food. So there are a lot of convenience stores, liquor stores. There's one grocery store that doesn't offer very many options away from processed foods. So we're growing as a way to provide fresh, nutritious, healthy food options for people in the neighborhood. At Well House we offer workshops that are either informational or skill sharing. We also do a weekly meal share, and this is an opportunity to teach each other ways to prepare food, different kinds of food. So our workshops offer opportunities for people to learn ways how to grow, how to preserve, and how to prepare.
Well House is committed to continuing the legacy of the work begun by Marion Clements over 30 years ago. Well House invites you to be a part of this legacy.
You may not be homeless or nothing right now, but you never know what tomorrow could bring.
Try to do the best thing possibly that you can for the change or that of being homeless. Because being homeless, that's not a good environment. It's hard. It's tough out there.
Long term, I'm very interested in what I've learned since being at Well House as far as community impact, working with families, the gardening, the dynamics of downtown life. And I'm very interested in becoming involved in that. So whether that includes going back to school for some sort of degree. I have a degree, so just adding to it. I'm not sure yet, but I know I want to be involved in this area, stay involved as much as I can, and take it a day at a time.
Well, what I like about Well House now, I have experienced the garden, working with Jeff and Camilla, and helping out, learning how to different vegetables that's good for you. Learning how to do garden, which I knew how, but I know more since I've been working with Jeff and Camilla.
It means a great deal to me, because it's, I was on the street and I was totally hopeless, feelings like, man, where do I go from here? And then all in one day I got a place to stay, a job, and that self-worth, that actually doing something instead of just walking around like in a dark room running into walls, you know what I mean? It's very, very satisfying. It's a very good program.
Well, what I like about being in that community is, first and foremost, Well House staff. Well House staff are some pleasant people, and they do care about others. They're real compassionate, and by me being there with them, and I see all of this now, that even makes me, feels that I'm worth something.
I love my life, and I'm planning to live it for the fullest.
Great.
I want to be able to live and say, okay, I'm 150 or 120 years old.
That'd be great. Okay, well, thanks for talking to us today.
You're welcome, and it's good talking to you too.
As Executive Director of Well House, I want to personally invite you to join us in our efforts. There are so many different things you can do. Whatever skill you have, whatever talent you could bring to the table, we can find a way to plug you in. So please join us.